Oh, well, hello, everybody, good people of YouTube. We are going back to October 11th, 1995 for the most recent member of the channel, Wally. Wally was at the show. In fact, Wally did the entire tour in 1995. And it was 100-degree weather this day, he said. I think he was helping sling some merch or pack or unpack. So he was just ready to rock and roll by the time the show started, but apparently not everybody was. And this was a really solid audience recording. Unless you can hear the show here on YouTube, and the first set, I guess I could see why a little bit, maybe why people weren't paying attention. 1995 or 2015 or even next year, 2025. I don't know. Oh, $20 ticket. I wrote that on there. I saw that on the notes on Phish.com. So we get into it. Oh no, this was not the problem with the first set. That stash opener, I listened to this one twice. I listened to it the other night, just kind of check in on the show, be like, oh, what's the sound quality like here on YouTube? I couldn't turn that stash off, but I went ahead and fired it up again today when I started the show. That was the first of Trey's live in concert jokes. There were several songs. I don't really know what the inside joke was there, but then after Stash and before Home Place, Old Home Place, he mentioned that the song is live in concert. So I don't know if people were always telling them, I don't know what that was all about. There was a lot of live in concert talk, I know, through the 70s, 80s, and even 90s. I don't know. I don't know what that was all about, but still made me laugh regardless. So then we get at Old Home Place. It's like after this big monster, then right to Old Home Place, and then Cavern, trying to pick it back up for the people that are there to dance, and then Divided Sky. While it was very nice, like, how do you dance to this? And it gave it a little bit of extra. I noticed there on .NET, though, this had the jam charts, and this did not somehow. Well, it was a fine Divided Sky, no doubt. If I could, bringing it back down, the Fog Surrounds, which is now the song that we all know as Taste. We got a Mr. Henrietta here at some point, either before or after the Taste. Obviously, you got to acknowledge Fishman on that song. Not just for the drumming, but the vocals as well, right? You would think. If I could, we're not going backwards in time, but I should mention, this is one. You can say this about so many songs. Back then, maybe this was a part of one of the songs that was maybe losing people, but how? I don't know. So the Fog That Surrounds was very strong. I think we get another, maybe an acoustic live in concert at this point, joke from Trey into Acoustic Army. And then, a strong Julius, if there is such a thing, but I suppose this was. And then Sample in a Jar, giving Trey a chance to shine. But perhaps I could see, look, by today's standard, look at that. There's a lot of hits in there, really. A couple Hall of Famers, even. Yeah, at least two. Two. Julius has been on the ballot like 7 times. It's never getting in the Hall of Fame, all right? Sample in a Jar's got a better shot. Trey can do a nice solo on that when he wants to. Anytime he wants to. A lot of times he does. It got a little boring there. And they played it a few times in 2.0. All right, I think the Baker's Dozen might have got him back on track. All right, so let's go. I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass at this point. All right, Wally. So here we go. Wally said that, people, they were losing people, not a whole lot of attention being paid. Well, certainly, you could almost circle all of this, but the Possum right off the bat, it took him a few minutes. It was Possum that we would recognize, and then it quickly got weird. And then as the intensity picked up, it was like, all right, we are beyond 6th gear, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. They hit like an 11th gear at some point in the Possum. And, I am not a big Possum guy, but that version right there might go in the Hall of Fame. If the song itself is not, that might have been like, there's a wing over here for special songs on special dates. Then the Bathtub Gin, it got really weird. Had kind of this nice little classic rock sounding end, though, a little bit. Maybe to see what was to come here. Trey channeling his inner 70s rock and roll fan guy inside himself. So I don't know. We got Mike right here showing off on the Mound for an audience recording. Very nice with the mic. But then you did start to hear some audience chatter even through here. It was unbelievable. How all this didn't get your attention, I don't know. But then the mics might have the Star Trek tease into the mics. We got not the second jam, but a second jam and mics that went really well. And hard to believe they packed all that into like 12 or 12 and a half minutes. That was a very unbelievable mics into McGrupp. Something I feel like they did much more back then. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I didn't do like a stats check on that. And then while the McGrupp wasn't necessarily anything special, it was a very special McGrupp somehow. You know what I mean? It was just like, it was just like a normal McGrupp. There wasn't a whole lot of bells and whistles, but damn, that was good. Into the Weekapog, there was a lot of great alligator mouth action here in this second set too. The Weekapog, maybe the weak point of this whole deal here. Weekapog's always even the intro. But then, they were trying to get the Llama, possibly what people would call a ripcord. We had a couple ripcords on this, but then, we got to tease into the ripcord, I suppose. But they blew through Pog just to get the Llama. All right. It was fast and furious. Like you could hear it coming. They were ready to go. Then Suzy Greenberg after that, and then the Suzy, they were teasing the hell out of Crossroads, and then boom, just abruptly dropped down into Crossroads. And then all the momentum really comes down. Maybe I wouldn't say momentum brought to a halt. Maybe they was time. Oh, it was 100 degrees. They didn't want people stroking out after all this madness. So they hit you with an acapella, "Hello, My Baby," live in concert, and then "A Day in the Life." Great cover anytime. Chalk Dust Torture. They're like, hey, whatever. We got to drive 1,000 miles to Fort Worth. If we take out a couple of fans with this chalk dust and this weather, so be it. All right. Wally survived, though. Wally survived man, Wally, how'd you do it? You had the next day off. You made it to Texas, huh? 1,000 miles. Over 1,000 miles to Fort Worth, I believe it was. This was Chandler, Arizona. I'm guessing near Phoenix. The Good Lieutenant uploaded the video. Shout out to the Good Lieutenant here on YouTube. I don't know whatever happened to the Good Lieutenant. I lost him at some point. He was a fan. Now he's gone. Boom. It happens. All right, guys. Mr. Henrietta. This was the Phish live in concert. For $20, you could have saw this show. See if I can get a nice smiling thumbnail. I mean, we're over 6 minutes. Why not? If one of these has got to end up in the thumbnail. I don't have a great smile. Boom. I got a good left, though. Ooh, that was nasty.